Hello guys. I thought I'd do a quick video. I was watching Wayne's World of Gaming. Quick shout out to Wayne's World. I just watched his video regarding CEX. I totally agree about the way they handle their kind of business. Wayne was saying that over a certain amount of time he's requested 4 games, and although they state in CEX system that the games are there, they weren't there. They was missing. So what happens to these games? Why don't they actually make sure that the games are in stock before they actually sell them? Now, are they accidentally mistitling them, which can happen? But if you're a business like CEX, your staff should actually type in the disc name. Let's say, for instance, Black Site. If they're going to take a game in called Black Site, they should actually type it in Black Site, scan the barcode, check the disc, see the condition of the disc, which is pretty good. Hardly any scratches on there. Check to see if the manual there or not. Then put it through the system. But how many people in CEX actually do that properly? I wonder. I think they should also put down when they're actually doing discs, manual, no manual. Like on some of the old retro games like Nintendo 64, NES, that kind of stuff, yeah. Sometimes I put no manual. Box, no manual. Why don't they do it with the disc games? Is it that hard, or is it just takes that little bit more extra time for them to do it? Now, I remember a couple of years ago, when buying a lot of games from CEX, I used to come home. I never checked the discs because I always trusted CEX that they wouldn't sell scratched up discs. And I used to get home after buying some games, and as soon as I take the disc out, I'll check the disc, and it's full of scratches. So that meant that I would have to go back up there and ask them to replace it. And sometimes they don't have replacements. They might only have had that one copy of the game I wanted. Now, I know, most CEXs have disc cleaners. Apart from Tooting in London, I've been down there a few times and bought games, and I've looked at the disc and I said, the disc is a bit scratched up, can you clean it? Oh, so we've got cleaned it, but it's not working. Well, why can't you get repaired then? Oh, it's up to CEX, CEX, the owners, has to come to the terms to say, yeah, get it clean, get it fixed, kind of thing. It's down to the the higher brass to actually get the damn thing fixed. And there are shops out there, CEXs, that have disc cleaners that don't work. Now, let's say a couple of years ago, I used to come home with games and they used to be completely scratched up. Now, CEX in one way has actually pulled their finger out their butts and managed to get a lot more games in better condition. Because I think what they used to do is that when people used to go in and buy them or sell them to them, they didn't actually check the disc. They didn't actually physically open the game up and check the disc to see the condition of it. As long as the game was there and the manual was there and the box was in okay condition, they take it in, give them the trade credit or the cash value to the customer, and that's it. Once they've done that, while they're doing that, they scan it through the system, take the disc out, put it in the sleeve, put it in the stock, and then their case would build up on the shelf, and then eventually they would actually put the cases on the shelves. Now, let's say quite a few times I came home with scratch discs, and it does cost people money to keep going up there. You know, and the thing with CEX, they state if you're not happy with the game, you've got 2 days to return it. What if you're disabled and you can't get out there within 2 days? It costs people money to leave their home to go to CX to buy the games. Now, they should give you at least a week, minimum, for you to go and take the game back up and get a replacement or a refund. But they don't even give you refunds. If you're buying games, they only give you store credit. So if this game was £2.50, which it was, which I bought the other day, if it's completely scratched up and I take it back and I say the game's scratched and they've got no way of cleaning it, and they say, oh, sorry, we don't have another one stock, take another game. If there ain't another game that I want, then they'll only turn around and say, well, we'll give you the £2.50 credit. We won't give you your £2.50 back. Won't refund you on your card. We'll just give you credit so you can use that credit to buy another game. And usually, what if there ain't no games that you want for £2.50? If there's a couple of games under £2.50, like a pound game and a £1.50 game, then yeah, you can do it that way. But if there's ain't nothing else and you're forced to spend that £2.50 credit, you probably have to spend that another £2 or £3 on another game and spend more money, don't you, really? Which is a benefit to them in one way. It is a bit of a joke that, like Waynesville said, that, why are they not doing their jobs properly? Why are they not making sure? Why are they not checking the discs and putting them into the system properly? Why are they losing these discs? Is it because it might be kind of an old rare one and maybe the staff are stealing it, or not saying they are stealing it? Is it because they're just like putting it in the wrong location, the wrong alphabetical order? Because I've actually been to CX a couple of times, yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I was over at Croydon, and I bought some Switch games and some Xbox X games, and I think I bought some PlayStation 2 games. But as I gave all the cases for them to get the games out, yeah, I said, I'm just going to have a quick look, see if there's anything else there, yeah. Which there wasn't, because I'm kind of fussy in the games I buy. Even like, the cheap £1, £2 games, I'm kind of fussy what I buy now. I've got so many like shelf fillers, it's unbelievable. It's like with the FIFA games, I pick up so many FIFA games. I've got a load of Call of Duty games, what's the other one? The eye candy games. The what's it called? Connect games, and God knows how many games I've got. And most of the games I do get, is mainly at car boot fairs, to be honest, If I can get like a bundle deal, then I buy a bundle deal. But usually with a bundle deal, you're picking up all the same old shit all the time, kind of thing, which you can't really help. If you want to get a bundle deal, you're gonna have to buy the shit games to get some of the good games, kind of thing. And as I say, I was over at CX Croydon the other day. I handed in the games which I wanted, and one of the guys said, "Oh, we can't find that game." He goes, "I'm sure we got it because I remember it being bought in the other day." So they looked on the system, and it does tell them when the game was bought in, and the game had only been bought in a couple of days ago. So it must have been in stock somewhere. So he went through practically all the Xbox games, and he actually found it, and it was in the wrong fucking location in the filing system. You know, oh, sorry it took so long, mate. It was in the wrong filing system because whoever took it in game and whoever put it in the filing system didn't do it properly. You know, I had to wait an extra 15 minutes for them to find the game. You know, all right, fair enough. I wasn't doing nothing that day. You know, the plan was, all right, Rose, the plan was to go up there and buy a few games, you know, spend a day out, you know, get some air in mid lungs, you know, get a bit of exercise, which I couldn't really do too much because my knees were killing me. But I wanted to get out, you know, it's boiling hot, you know, I think it was one of the hottest days we had last week. And I was just wearing the t-shirt. Now, I usually feel the cold. I really do feel the cold. But I was sweating. You know, I had 2 bottles of water with me. And I was swigging on the water every now and then. You know, just trying to keep myself hydrated because I was sweating. And like, you know, but, you know, 15 minutes looking for a game was a bit of a joke, really. But I did eventually find it. Now, the other thing about games is that a few years ago, as I say, like, you know, I could take in 20 games and they'd just, yeah, okay. And they'd scan it, put it to one side, scan all the 20 games, give you the price on what they're going to give you, either cash or credit. And I think a lot of people usually do credit because they know that they can get more on credit and spend a bit more money on more games. So it's usually credit for me. I don't think I've ever taken cash from CEX. It's always been credit because then with the credit, I knew I'd get a few extra games or something. Yeah. Now, when I used to hit the car boot fairs, I used to like buy as many games as I could, and I'd come home and scan them. And anything over £1, if it's like £1 game and it's like £1.40 trading, I'll put to one side and I'll build them up, and then I'll take them into CEX to get the credits. That's how I got my Xbox X and my Wii U console, by building up the credits. Right, with the Xbox X, it cost me £370, I think it was. And I built up like £300 in credit, and I knew it was going to take me a bit longer to get the rest of the credit, but I keep going out, you know, to choke shots and car boot fairs and, you know, hoping I'd get enough to build up the credit. I thought, you know, I can't be bothered with that. So I actually paid the extra through cash, which was like £70. And I still got my Xbox X in. It's in the living room. I don't really play it a lot. Been playing PlayStation quite a lot more than the PC. But again, you know, buying the Xbox X, it wasn't all there. You know, and I'll tell you another company that kind of screwed me over in a minute later on. The Xbox X was all there apart from the manuals, and I didn't really worry about the manuals, but they stated the manuals were there at the bottom of the box. But when I got it home, there weren't no manuals, and I thought, well, you know, I ain't going to bother going up there and taking it all back because, like, if there's something missing, you got to take the whole thing back, you know, and that's more hassle to like put everything back in the box as best you can and take it back up and say, well, wait a minute, you know, I had to bring this back because there's a manual missing. Because I wouldn't give you a replacement manual unless you brought everything back up. So if the manual was missing, you want the manual, you'd have to take the entire Xbox box up there with the Xbox console, the joypad, the cables, everything, and then they would actually swap it over. But then they'd have to give you another receipt, so they would refund you in trade, and then like give you another one, and then give you a new receipt with the new serial number and all that shit, you know. So, you know, like taking stuff back up was a bit of a pain in the arse, and still is a bit of a pain in the arse, especially now when they say you've only got 2 days, you know, to bring the game back up if there's a fault with it or you don't like it and you want to trade it back in for something else. Now, when I was up there at Streatham the other day, you know, I bought about 15 games. I bought some PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. I bought some Xbox games, and I bought a PSP game. Now, while I was waiting, the guy was like sorting them away. He goes, "I'm going to put these for the cleaner, mate, for you." I said, "Oh, great, thanks." Well, the thing being was that he didn't put them all through the cleaner, which would have took more time, but I think it might be payday, actually. Yeah, payday. I did try to show this on camera the other day, but there's so many scratches on this disc. It's unbelievable. I thought it just might be spear marks, but it isn't. It's just constant scratches going across the actual thing. Now, I bought 2 copies of this, one for the Xbox 360 and one for the PlayStation 4. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be playing the Xbox 360 version. You know, some people say, well, you're going to get scratch discs for £1.50. Yeah, but why clean discs for £2 and £2.50 and not clean the disc for £1.50? Is it because they can only spend so much time per customer? Did he not check that disc? Did he think that he'd already cleaned it? Now, I'm not going to keep going up there and saying, well, you know, hang on a minute, you said that you cleaned this disc and it's not clean, you know, can you clean it? No, because it costs me money to go up there. It takes time, energy, you know, to get up, get dressed. You know, it doesn't really cost me money to go up there because I've got my Oyster card, my 60 plus Oyster card, which ain't working. And they want £10 for me to order a new one, a replacement one, which I'm not fucking doing. You know, I'm just going to keep getting on the bus and showing them the card, you know, as long as it's still valid date. You know, unless they turn around the bus driver and say, well, your card ain't registering, you know, get off the bus. Then I'm going to, like, you know, kick a stink up with the bus driver, which I don't want to do. But when I was up there yesterday at Croydon, twice my bus pass wasn't working, and twice the drivers just said, you know, don't worry about it, get on. Because it is valid, it's just, I think the built-in chip ain't working. It's probably got bent, just like my credit cards, you know, my Visa cards I tend to like wear out within a year because they either get bent or the pin suddenly starts wearing down. But with CEX, like, it's not just the games; it's also the hardware. You know. Now I've been kind of like lucky buying like my switches, my Switch ones, a Switch Lite, and a Switch OLED. You know, they've been in pretty good condition, but I did not buy them from CEX. Both I bought from cash converters, and the other, this one here, I bought from a car boot fair for £100, and the condition on that was pretty good. Now I thought CEX is supposed to be like changed their way of buying and selling things. Like, you could take like a console up there, and they would rate it A, B, or C. A for like excellent, B for good, and C for like, average to good. And like, I've not really bought any hardware from CEX apart from my Xbox 360. Not Xbox 360, my Xbox X. And that was boxed. That was boxed in near mint condition. It's like that cost me £370. And I can't remember if it had the manual in there or not. But even if it didn't have the manual, I was not going to go out there and like, take everything back up just for a fucking manual, kind of thing. But I can understand like Wayne saying like, a lot of stuff about missing games. Why are these games missing? Why are they not putting them in the right alphabetically order? Even if you had like Black Site 1 and 2, that would be in alphabetical order B. Why would some stupid person put it under S, like Site, or some other part of the alphabetical order? Like with Croydon. He didn't find the game what I wanted in the right alphabetical order. It was actually under the shelf where they actually see what happens, right? When they bring in the game, they take the disc out, put it in one of their little plastic sleeve things, and they don't directly put it in the right alphabetical order on the shelving. What they normally do is that when they bring it in, they take the disc out, put it in the sleeve, and then put it on the shelf under the main counter. And then they would eventually move that from underneath the counter to put it in the right place at a later time of the day. That never happened. It actually been sitting under the counter for 2 days. And he said, well, I know we definitely got it. Let me just check on the system when we bought it 2 days ago, so it should be here. So we went back, checked the alphabetical order, still weren't there. He goes, I can't understand it. We've bought it in. It's definitely here. It says it on the system. It's there. I don't know where it is. And he goes, and let me check one other place. And he looked underneath the counter, and there's like about 20 discs there. And it's there. He goes, well, I don't know why they didn't put it in the system. Well, we go, well, it's in the system, but why they didn't put it in the main alphabetical order finding system, I don't know. Sorry it took a bit longer for me to find the game for you. I said, well, it's not your fault. You found it now anyway. So, I've got an order coming. Got to keep an eye out with Amazon. I bought some new shelves because over the back, I know my bed's a mess, but over the back, I can see if you can see that. Where I've got a stack of games there, PlayStation 5 and Xbox, because these shelves are completely filled up. I don't want to be putting them ones in the bed in the living room because the living room's so filled at the moment. It's unbelievable. I was going to do some sorting out today, but I didn't get up till late again. I was so fucking tired. So I decided I'd do it tomorrow because there's no car boot fair tomorrow. It's an antique fair tomorrow, so the car boot fair is not open tomorrow. At least that saves me a little bit of money. So what I'm going to do is remove the mirror behind me and put some shelves where the mirror is and put the mirror somewhere else. I might even get rid of the mirror, I don't know yet. So I'm waiting for some shelving to come. They're only like small ones, but they should be, enough for me to put the PlayStation 4 and 5 games over, because I don't want them like keep stacking on top of each other. I've got shelving on the wall in front of me, and that was full, right? Disc cleaning fluids and pads and stuff like that. I've moved those out of the way and I've got me Switch games over there at the moment in front of me. So if I want to put a Switch game in, I can just get up, lean over, and pull out what game I want. Which I've not really been playing in Switch games at the moment since I've even got the Switches. I've got 3 Switch consoles and not even played the games much. I've been playing like a racing car game, but not much. And I was hoping to start streaming Switch games very soon, but it depends on OBS not screwing up. OBS kept like bringing up the box for an update all the time, and like I thought if I'd installed the update, maybe it might mess all the settings up, but because this box kept popping up all the time, I thought, I might as well just install it, and if it fucks up again, then I'll have to go through it all and set the OBS up again. But luckily enough, it didn't. So, yeah. But anyway, getting back to the games and stuff like that, I bought my original PlayStation 4 from Cash Converters. And the thing is, they don't test them out like CEX does. CEX don't even test them out. You buy it, you bring it home, you set it up. If it works straight away, then great, it's working. If it ain't working, you got the hassle of taking it back up there. Well, with Cash Converters, they're normally pretty good, because as I bought 2 Switches, the Switch Lite and the Switch OLED off them this month. But when I bought me PlayStation 4 about 3 years ago, I think I paid like £200 for it in cash. And it wasn't a box one. I don't know. No, it wasn't a box one. It was like an open one. And they gave me a controller, the power lead, HDMI lead, and the console itself, and the receipt. I bought it home hoping I can plug it in and play it straight away. Now, usually, they're all factory reset anyway in CEX and Cash Converters or wherever you buy them. Mostly they are like factory reset. You have to go through all the settings. Well, I turned it on and I started going through the settings, but every time it told me to press next, which was the X button, it wouldn't work. So I'm pressing X all the time and it's not working. Now, the thing is, I didn't know at the time they sold me a compatible controller with the console. Now, a compatible controller will not work in getting through the setup. You've got to have an original PlayStation controller to get through the setup, because the compatible one's got to be red in the settings. So once you've gone through, like if it came with like original PlayStation controller, I could have flew through all the settings and then I could have added a compatible one later, because then it would have picked up through the settings, not through the setup. Now I couldn't get through the setup, so luckily enough, the phone number was in. I said, look, it's not working. I can't get through the setup. I will bring it all back. We'll see what we can do. Well, I've taken it back up the same day, and they've taken it out of the back, and I'm waiting to see what's happening. And it was a pretty good, condition PlayStation 4 console, and there weren't hardly any scratches on it at all. Some of the other ones had scratches, minor blemishes, but I wanted to keep the one I wanted, which I'd already paid for. Well, to cut a long story short, they came out and said, oh, no wonder it's not working, because you've got the compatible controller. You can't get through the settings without an original controller. This will work on the console perfectly once you've gone through the settings, but you can't go through the settings with this controller. So I said, what's the point of selling me this then with a compatible controller if I can't get through the settings? Well, we sold it like that, as a discounted price. This was X more money, but because we didn't have the controller given to us, the original one, this came with this one. No, we didn't want to sell it as it is with a original controller because it was a compatible one. We sold it as a compatible one. I said, well, can't you just give me an original controller? Well, we could do, but it costs more money. That's why it's been discounted. So, to cut a long story short, I had to buy another controller from an original one, which cost me £40. And they gave me the new controller, which I paid for. They gave me I said I want because they said, do you want another PlayStation? I said, no, I want the one which I originally bought because it's better condition than the other ones. So they gave me that one back. They gave me all the leads and everything here. Well, where's the other controller? What controller? The one that originally came with it, the compatible one. Oh, do you still want that? Well, yeah, because I paid for it, haven't I? It came with the system. Oh, well, because you bought a new one, we didn't think that you want that one. I said, yeah, of course I want it. I said, I paid for it. I want it. So that to go out the back and get it to give it back to me. Because if I turned around and said, no, forget it, they would have kept it and probably resold it, making more money. So I said, no, I want it. And I was kind of very dubious about buying stuff from cash converters from that day on. But as I say, I bought two switches from cash converters in Croydon. One was boxed and in very good condition, which is the Olight one, 64 gig one. And the switch light was also in good condition. And I bought both of those in cash with cash converters. Now, with the first one I bought from them, the Olight one, was trying to get through all the settings, but we couldn't actually set it up properly because of the internet issue. Their internet sucks up there, I tell you, man, at Croydon. So they done it the best that they could, and they said, well, the rest of the setup you'll have to do it. I said, well, hang on a minute, if we stop now, when I get home, won't I have to do a factory reset or anything? Is it gonna let me carry on from where we end here? He goes, yeah, you should do. He goes, not just bring it back and we'll do whatever we can do. But lucky enough, when I got home, I was able to get the internet connected and run through the rest of it. Because the Switch Olight had no battery. It had 1% battery life on it. And we had to wait ages and ages and ages for the battery power to charge up to 50% so it could actually download the update. And once the update was downloaded, it would actually install the update for us to go onto the setup feature to set the console up. 2.5 hours that took. And I waited and installed 2.5 hours for that fucking thing to work. And it's only because their internet was really shit. And I mean really, really shit. I reckon it was probably fucking 20 megabit connection or something, because it shouldn't have taken that long. When I got home and put it on, the rest of the setup was done within 5 minutes. So I've had no problem with it. And the only thing with cash converters and CEX will cost you more money, but give you a longer warranty time. So if I bought my Switch OLite from CEX, that would have cost me around about £270, right? But I would have got five years warranty. But buying it from Cash Converters, I say £50 on it, the box one, $220, but I get a year's warranty on it. Now, I was talking to the guy, who was serving me. I said, well, the only reason I come here because, their box ones are like $270. You got a box one here at $220. He goes, well, actually, this was $250, but we've reduced it, discounted it. So you're lucky you're getting this one, for $220 because originally it would have been $250. So you would have made saved about £20 profit on it, kind of thing. And they seem to have better condition consoles in there in Cash Converters than CEX does. All right, the Xbox X was in near mint condition when I bought it from CEX, but originally when I bought that, it was only a year's warranty. So if it goes down, breaks, stops working, I've got to take it to a repair shop and get it repaired. Because CEX will not repair it because the warranty is now out of date, I believe. I don't know when they bought out the 5-year warranty. But if I bought it and it had the 5-year warranty on it, which it didn't, it only had the 1-year warranty, if it breaks down in 5 years, they would have to repair it or replace it. But with Cash Converters, you only get the year. So if it breaks down within the year, you take it back, they have to repair it or replace it under the warranty. The guy in Cash Converters saying, well, to be honest with you, I feel like CEX is a bit of a rip-off. And I kind of agreed with him. I said, yeah, I agree. Because, they would buy certain games. What makes me laugh is they offer a penny, 1p for certain games. And if you even decide to take the penny, which you would be a fucking fool, but some people are stupid enough and foolish enough to accept a penny for a game, you could flip that on eBay or, set a car boot for a fucking £1 or £2, kind of thing. I'd rather give it to a charity, than take a penny for a game, fucking ridiculous. But that, one YouTuber I was watching the other day, he said they are a bit of a scam. I can't remember who the YouTuber was, but he said they buy games for pittance, but then they put the game up for triple, or even quadruple, or even 10 times the amount the game's worth, kind of thing. It's like with the I can't remember the actual full name, but it's that Rose game. That used to be going £500. But they'd only buy it in for 150, 200. But flip it for 500. Dutch Game Hunter, Dutch guy who, in Dutchland, they closing all the CEXs over there because they keep getting robbed for mostly electronics and stuff. So he tends to either buys online, sends it through the post to trade, but he usually comes over to the UK to buy a load of games and trade in some of the games that he finds in his country, and they're trading in to use that trade to buy the English games. And he had 2 sealed of those really rare Rose games, and the PlayStation 2 ones. They sealed. He said, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to open one up. And he was, if he didn't open it, he could have sold it for, no, God knows that amount of money because it was still sealed. But he wanted to try something out. So he took the wrapper off and he went to CEX and he said, oh, I've got this, I only just recently opened it. He didn't say when. He only opened it within 5 minutes of going into CEX. He said, just recently opened it. So I looked at it, and because the manual had a slight bend, like on the top there, and a little blemish at the bottom, they won't take it in as mint. No. Very good, but not mint. If it was mint, it would have got like 250, 300 quid for it. Because of that little blemish, that little fold, £190. So it's all right, fair enough. So he took the £190. I don't know if he took cash or credit or whatever, yeah. He still had another copy, sealed. So him and his mate decides to go to another CEX in a different town. He takes in a new sealed game, in that Rose game. And I said, well, yeah, it's sealed, but we can't take them in sealed. We've got to open it because that could be a reseal. We got to make sure the game's in there. He could have turned around and said, no, I'm taking the game back and sell it separately, on eBay and make even more money. But he wanted to trade it into CEX so he can get the CEX trading cost to buy more games in CEX. He didn't want to have the hassle of waiting around and selling it on eBay or somewhere. So he said, all right, open it up. They opened it up. And instead of giving them mint for the money for the game, again, the manual had a slight blemish. Now, I can't say if it was CEX had done it because they did take the manual out and the way they handled it, they could have caused a blemish. But they said, no, look, there's a blemish there. We can't take that as mint. He goes, why can't you take that as mint? He goes, well, we're very kind of cautious on buying stuff now. It is a heavy hitter. People want it as mint as possible. And if they see that blemish on that manual, they can turn around and say, well, that's not mint. That has got a blemish, so that's not classed as mint. So I offered him the same £190 or whatever it was in cash or credit or whatever it was. Now, sometimes I think CEX goes to the extreme of damaging some of the stuff to give you a lower cost on the game or whatever console, whatever they're going to take in stock, and give you whatever they are going to give you. Now, I say that because I took a console up to CEX once before, and it was a Xbox 360, I believe it was, and it had the warranty seal still on there. It still had it on there. And as the guy was checking it, he was tampering around with the warranty seal. I could see what he's doing. And he goes, oh, I can't take it because the warranty seal has been tampered with. I thought, what fucking bullshit. What bullshit. How the hell can they say the warranty? That warranty tag on that console was perfect, but he's saying it's been tampered with. And you could see that, it's kind of scratching it and stuff like that to see if it's original. So he tampered with that. and I never got to sell that to them. So I had to bring it all the way back home. Now, not only that, I had a mobile phone, right? And I've had it for 2 years. It's in still pretty good condition. It still had the original screen protector on there, yeah? I was told I'd get £90 for it from one guy. I took it in, so I didn't need the phone. I wanted the credit to build up for when I bought me Xbox X. And although you could see that it still had this screen protector on, he said, "Oh, we might have to remove the screen protector." I said, "Well, why is that?" He goes, "Well, we need to check the light, the glass underneath it." I said, "Well, you can see like it's in good condition, it's near mint still." He goes, "Yeah, I can see that, but we still need to take that off to check. That's how, the rules, being in CEX." No, I said, "Well, what are you going to give me if you take it in?" Because I was told 90 quid. Oh, whoever told you that was wrong, let me check it first. And, if it's in good condition, we'll come to that in a minute. So he took the screen protector off. Now, that should have been put as an A in, near mint condition, because it had the box and everything with it, yeah? So I never throw the boxes away. If I get a new mobile phone, I'll always get the box, get the instructions, get the original charger, headphones, earplugs, or whatever comes with it. I know that the phone I had never come with headphones, so that didn't really matter. But I had the original charger, I had the manual, I had the original box and everything, yeah. It looked like it had just come out from a shop, just it didn't have the wrap around the box. And I said to him, "I've had this for a little while, and you can see it's in near mint condition." He goes, "Yeah, I can see that, but we still got to check it." Now, instead of giving it an A, he put it as a B. Because when he took the screen off, he caused himself some blemishes on the screen by fucking around with it. So he goes, "Oh, well, we can only give you like £65. Well, I didn't really need the phone. And I thought originally I was going to get about 30-40 quid for it. But I was a bit pissed off that one guy says, 90 quid. Then suddenly it's knocked down to 65. What even pissed me off even more, I've gone back up. I knew exactly what my phone was. I looked in the window before, I actually handled it in. There weren't none of those phones in the window. And I can't see that they would have got one in within, a couple of days. I looked in the window and my phone was sitting there for over £300. £300. That really fucking knocked me. I went up to the counter. I said, "Why has that phone gone up to £300 when I only got £65 for it? And I was guaranteed I was going to get £90 for it." "No, well, it's why CEX is, we can't explain why it's gone to £300. Maybe we put it £300 either by mistake or, it's in good condition." I said, "Yeah, well, if it's in good condition and you put A, why did you give me the price of a B?" "Oh, it's down to the person who dealt with you, and maybe they thought it was a B, and after it's been sitting there for a little while, we've checked it and now consider it's an A. The price has gone up." I wasn't too happy about that, I tell you. Give me £65 for a fucking mobile phone, which is in near mint condition, which still had the screen protector on for over 2 years. And they decided to take the screen protector off and cause a few blemishes and then knock it down from 90 to fucking 60. I don't trust CEX, I really don't. I know this video is going on, but there's so many stories I could tell you about CEX. Why do they actually only give you a certain amount on certain disc games, Right. the new Mario game for the Switch 2 is like £80, I think, to buy, brand new. When I was in there the other day, the Mario game in there, they had about 6 or 7 copies of that game. And I was trying to get, well, they're charging £75 per game, which is a fucking total rip-off, man. How much did they actually pay each person for that game? Probably about 40, not even that. Let me have a look on that, actually. On CEX. Like Zelda. The new, well, Zelda on Switch. I think it's like £58. Because on the original Switch, it's £42. Let's do Zelda first. Yeah, so Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on Nintendo Switch 2 is £58. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, £58. So Breath of the Wild on original Switch is £48, and they give you a £28 trade-in voucher on that one, or £19 cash. But on Switch 2, it's £37 trading for cash, £43 trading, or yeah, £43 trading. They sell it for £58. So they are making £15 on that game. £15. Now you go to no, I think it's Mario in it. Mario Kart. Trading for cash, £48. Trading for voucher, £56. And they sell it for £75. All right. And that's second hand. If you go to Amazon to buy that game, brand new, sealed, it is £73. Brand new, sealed. Or if you get the download code, it's $66.99 on Amazon. But the original cartridge one, I think, is £73.45 on Amazon for that game. And CEX is selling it for £75, a couple of pounds more, but used second hand. I don't know if they actually do on normal. No, they don't do it on normal that I can see. I think Mario Kart World is only on Switch 2 at the present time. No, why would you buy? Oh, okay, I can understand people buying, the same game on Switch 2, even though you got it on Switch 1, because you want to build up your Switch 2 collection, right? I can understand that. I've got games which I've got on Xbox X, Xbox 360, and PlayStation. like the Call of Duty games, because they are different. Well, they're the same game, but different covers and different variants, and there might be like extra DLCs on one console than there is with another, kind of thing. And I do like, I used to love playing Call of Duty games. Last one I bought was Call of Duty 6 at a car boot fair, and I was lucky to get that for 20 quid. Although CEX, I know it's gone down on CEX to 35, but when I bought my copy at the car boot fair, it was like 50 quid. So buying it for £20 at a car boot fair was, pretty lucky in getting that at a car boot fair, second hand. So I saved myself like £20 or £25, because at the time it was £50 at CEX, it's now £35, but I bought mine for £20. Now, if you take that in now, if I decide I want to get rid of that, I'd go £23 trading. So I'd make £3 on it, trading cost. If I wanted cash, it's £16. So, CEX is making a hell of a lot of profit on certain games right now. Especially the new Switch 2 games. Like Cyberpunk 2077. You can download that on PlayStation right now, free of charge, right? If you've got PlayStation. They are selling that Switch 2 for £55. The two new Zelda games, not new, but Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, £58. Hogwarts is £40. Sonic X Shadow Generations, £38. Rune Factory, Guardians of Asma, £55. Raider Remastered, or it's called Mysteries of the Soulless Army, £42. Wild Hearts, £40. Hitman World of Assassination, £48. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, £45. Bravely Default Flying Fairy, £32. Street Fighter 6 no DLC, £40. Donkey Kong Bonanza, that's only just came out. That was like £70 I think, wasn't it? How much is that on Amazon? I know in America it's like $100 or something. So, brand new Nintendo Switch 2 Donkey Kong Bonanza on Amazon is £64. While second hand in CEX is £65. £47 cash trade-in, or £52 voucher. So CEX is putting their prices higher than Amazon is. I know it's only £1 difference, but it's still higher in it. I can't understand, why would you go and buy a second-hand game for $64.95? No, actually, why would you go and buy a £65 second-hand game, Donkey Kong Bonanza, right? Yeah, it's second-hand, isn't it? It's second-hand. £65 in CEX. Donkey Kong Bonanza, when you can go and buy it brand new off Amazon and get it next day delivery at $64.95. It's only 5p cheaper, yeah, but it's brand new, sealed. Because CEX does not take in sealed games. They always open them. It just don't make sense, man. Street Fighter 6, no DLC, £40. The two Zelda games, £58 each. Mario Kart World, 75. Cyberpunk, 77, 55. And We Sing 80s with two mics, £28. But that's not. Why is it under a Nintendo Wii game, under Nintendo Switch 2 games? They've even got Xbox games under the Nintendo section. So they can't even get the things in their own fucking categories online done properly. Oh, I don't know. It just don't make sense with CEX. It really don't. No, I've not had too much problems with them, but I do kind of feel a bit cheated and pissed off when I come home. When they said, oh, they cleaned the games and the games are still scratched to buggery, kind of thing. And I can't be bothered to keep going up there every day to get a game replaced because they haven't cleaned the discs. Because I thought that would have been a part of the CEX way of dealing things. I know, if you've got people coming in and trading in games, either cash or voucher, and you can probably get, a few hundred games in a day. Surely there could be someone there who could be running those games through the cleaner, as that particular person's daily job kind of thing, Like if you've got 5 people, and there's usually 5 people in CEX in Streatham, and the other day in Croydon, I think there's about 5, 6 people in there. Why do they not set the task for one person to deal with the games that are coming in after they've been put through the system, for that one person to put the games through a disc cleaner so the games are cleaned and not in perfect condition, but in a better state than what they came in. And once they've cleaned, then they can put them into the system properly under the right alphabetical category. And then when people come in and buy those games, they're happy to take the game home and see that there's no scratches on there whatsoever. Even when they do, even when they actually fucking clean the discs. I think there's some people in there who don't even know how to handle a disc, because why clean the disc and suddenly put your fingerprints all over it? Because that's what's happened as well. They said that they'd clean the disc. You come home and you're thinking, oh, this disc, it's been cleaned, it's, in good nick, I can pull it in. But you turn it over just to check it and there's fingerprints all over it. It just don't make sense, does it, eh? I don't think CEX really do their job properly. If I had to give them a scoring mark, I'd probably say 7 out of 10. Seriously, because they do not. Some people do care. They want to get their job done. They want to make the customer happy, satisfied, and pleased with the service. But when people just work there and we can take that in, here's your credit, I've seen people up there, who don't give you a smile, say hello. Yeah, we can give you like £10 credit on that, and £5 credit on that, this is your total, you got so long for your credit, and any point in the game, come back and we'll sort it out. Miserable fuckers up there, sometimes. I think sometimes I see it can be ripped off as well, to be honest with you. I've not done it myself, but like, you could go up there and buy a game, right? And the game's in practically mint condition, and you've already got the game which is completely scratched up. Now, there's no barcode on there, is there? No barcode in that game whatsoever. But if I had another copy of this and it was all scratched up and I wanted to get a better copy of the game, I could go up there, purchase the game, bring it, bring it home. I couldn't even wait for a couple of hours, stay in the town centre, take the game up with me, buy the game, take the good one out, replace it with a shit copy, go back in about an hour later and say, yeah, mate, this game's too scratched up, I need a replacement one. They could turn around and say, well, we ain't got a replacement one, we can give you credit. So they give you credit for another game. So you get another game. How many people can do that? I don't know. There's probably a lot of people who are dishonest, and have done that. I've not done it. I'll be honest with you, I've not done it. Like, if I've got like 4 copies of a game, which I probably have got 4 copies of certain games, and I do have a disc cleaner, but I don't want to go through cleaning discs purposely just to take it up and get a decent trade in. If I've got 4, let's say I had 4 copies of this and I had 1 decent copy, I could clean the other ones up and test them, but I don't want to go through the hassle of doing that. I'd only clean it if I'm going to be playing it. And God knows how many games I've got which are fucking well scratched up. It's unbelievable. But I'd rather give them a decent copy so they can turn around and say, yeah, we'll take that in and give you the credit. I don't want to take a game up there, which I have done before, and they turn around and said, sorry, mate, you can't turn it into, it's too scratched. But I have actually taken games up there which I've cleaned from a disc cleaner, and I still rejected it because it's got the polishing stuff around the corner, in the centre. Oh, we can see that you cleaned it, best you can, but we can't take it because it's got the residue. So when you clean them, you've got to make sure that all of this is perfect. If you want to do it that way, and trying to get, the game traded in. But I think, if it's got minor scratches, they're not going to worry about it because they can just stick it through the disc cleaner if they put it through the disc cleaner. Sometimes they take it in as it is and then pass it out to the other person who comes in and gets it, because I've asked them, I said to them before, I said, do you actually check all the discs? He goes, no, because it's impossible to check all the discs because we don't know how many discs we're going to get. We have to trust the customer who brings the disc in and hoping that the game is in good condition. We'll scan it and put it through the system and then, like stock it. And when someone comes in and wants that game, we'll sell it to them. If they notice that the disc is scratched, then we'll do the best we can to put it through the disc cleaner and clean it for them to use. And they still have problems with it, then we'll actually allow them to bring it back and give them another copy or give them a credit refund so they can actually get another game. So I say you don't check every game that comes in. No, it's impossible. So that's why I believe that there are many times that you walk in to CEX and buy games hoping that they're going to be good, because even when you do buy games, I don't really stand there checking every game because it takes time and energy. It takes time out of your daytime. You know, you could be doing something else within them 20 seconds, you know, kind of thing. So when you buy a game, you're hoping that it's going to be in good condition. But as I say, out of all the games I did get, there's only one game that I could see which was still in bad condition, which I thought he said he was going to put all the games through the cleaner. And you can clearly see that this one has got probably 20 to 25 scratches going across that way. No, I still got the receipt. Next time I go up there, if I wanted to, I could say, well, like, you know, I bought this last week, not been able to play it because, you know, it's scratched up. Can you run it through the cleaner? If they turn around and say, well, no, you should have bought it up before. You know, sorry, mate, you know, I've got health issues. I can't keep coming up here every day to return a disc because it ain't fucking working. So they should give you more time to take up a faulty item for it to either be changed or get your money back. And they don't refund you cash wise, I don't think. It's always credit. Right, a minute. I need to get a drink. I need to go to the bathroom. Now, I can understand with CEX making money, but when they buy an item for like £20 or something, and then they like stick it up for sale for, you know, well over triple, it is like a bit of a piss take, really. And like, you know, you can buy the same fucking thing on Amazon, possibly cheaper, brand new, than it is in CEX, you know, kind of thing, second hand. Unless you're like, you know, me and a few other people, hundreds of other people, who just wants to go out to car boot fairs, charity shops, and buy games and shit like that, and then hopefully make a little bit of extra by trading it in. But I think now sometimes it's not worth doing that because like you can go out and buy 20, 30 games in a bundle at a car boot fair or charity shop, and you'll be lucky to get a couple which you might be able to make your money back in trade. And all the rest is just like junk stuff. Like you might be able to sell some of that junk stuff on eBay or put in your own collection if you ain't got it and you want to keep it. Fair enough. But I've got so many fucking games, but I ain't got the games that I want. Some of the rarer games because they're just too bloody costly to buy. Even the new games that I know, like Xbox 360 and PlayStation 1 and 2 and the OG games, you're not going to get any new games for those because they've over and done with. But there are games out there which I wouldn't mind getting, like the Silent Hill franchise, kind of thing, on PlayStation and Xbox. But they're just too expensive at the moment. Like even Silent Hill 2, I think, is like £40. I think the new Silent Hill remastered, I think it is. Silent Hill 2 on PlayStation. You got the director's cut, £75. Or you got a standard Silent Hill 2, which is £70. Silent Hill no manual but box, £55. They're all on PlayStation 2. Xbox OG, the original Xbox, £42. Silent Hill 2 Director's Cut, no manual but box, £60. Silent Hill 2 Director's Cut PC CD-ROM, 95. Fucking hell, it's more expensive on CD. On PC CD. Didn't know that. But actually, the Silent Hill 2 Director's Cut Mint is £105. Silent Hill 2 Mint in PlayStation 2 is £90. And then you got the Silent Hill 2 on PlayStation 5, which is £42. So yeah. But that's just like Silent Hill 2. All the other games like, Silent Hill PlayStation 1, manual box, £130. Silent Hill 4, The Room, manual box, PlayStation 2, £65. Silent Hill 3, box with manual, £75. Silent Hill Platinum Edition, without manual, but box, £98. That's PlayStation 1. Silent Hill Collection, the 3-disc and manual and boxed, £225. Silent Hill's Origins and manual boxed, £150. That's PlayStation 2. Silent Hill Downpour, PlayStation 3, £75. Silent Hill HD Collection, PlayStation 3, £50. Silent Hill Downpour, Xbox 360, £52. Silent Hill Homecoming, PlayStation 3, £25. Silent Hill Shattered Memories, Wii console, £70. Silent Hill 4, The Room, no manual box, £45. PSP, Silent Hill Origins, £38. Silent Hill 3, PlayStation 2, no manual boxed, £60. Xbox 360, Silent Hill Homecoming 22, Silent Hill HD Collection, Xbox 360 35, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, PSP 80, Silent Hill Revelations, that's the movie, DVD £5. PlayStation 2, Silent Hill 2, no manual but box 55. Silent Hill 4, The Room, £30, Xbox 360. So all the Silent Hill games are very expensive. Like, Silent Hill Origins mint, PlayStation 2, 200 quid. Silent Hill Shattered Memories, BBFC UK mint, £475. PlayStation 2, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, Peggy UK manual box 320, and then Silent Hill Shattered Memories, Peggy UK mint 350. Silent Hill Collection 3-disc mint, PlayStation 2 230. Most of the Silent Hill Shattered Memories are between 185 and 230. Silent Hill Collection, no manual box, 180, PlayStation 2. Silent Hill Homecoming, PC game, only £10. So games like that, it's like kind of expensive. There is a double. There's a PSP Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops and Silent Hill for £50. So yeah, if you've got the money to buy a Silent Hill, then you can buy Silent Hill collections. But not me. I ain't got the money for that kind of stuff. Anyway, I've spoken enough. I'm going to go. My voice is getting a bit dry and sore, so I'll catch you later. Not sure if I'm going to do any gaming tonight. We'll see how I feel later. So cheers for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget, just like, share, hit the notification bell, leave a comment if you wish to, as long as it ain't in the last 91, because it will be removed and it'll be deleted and banned. Give us a thumbs up, and also subscribe if you've not already done so, please. And I'll catch you later. Bye for now.